I'm attorney Talib Karim. My college studies were launched at the United States Air Force Academy, where I majored in astronautical engineering. Later, I transferred to Howard University and ultimately earned engineering and law degrees. Over the past 25 years, I've had a distinguished career advising corporations, celebrities, and government leaders. My career success is based on the excellent training of my parents, Drs. Talib and Linah Karim Muhammad. Yet, I'm not alone. All 6 of the children my parents had together went to college. 4 earned engineering degrees, 3 earned both engineering and law degrees, and 1 earned an MBA from Wharton Business School. How did my parents achieve these and other successes? This is the subject of a documentary and book project that I invite you to support. My parents' story begins just over 50 years ago. My father, then known as Theodore Emanuel, was a young activist with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. He was inspired by other leaders of that time, including Malcolm X and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. In April of 1968, my father was an aide to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. while in Memphis for the sanitation workers' strike. The following day, Dr. King was assassinated. To keep Dr. King's dream alive, my father joined the Poor People's Campaign. This mobilization brought together activists of all color from around the country for weeks of protests in Washington, D.C. My parents met in the protest encampment along the Lincoln Memorial. My mother, then known as Luana Morris, was a former Jet magazine model turned civil rights worker. My parents got married shortly thereafter and traveled across the country to support the civil rights movement. Later, my parents joined the Nation of Islam and were dispatched to Oklahoma City. Upon arriving in Oklahoma in 1969, then known as Theodore GX and Luana X, my parents connected with other young Oklahomans and established the Muhammad's Mosque No. 50. Within 5 short years, these young people built a multi-million-dollar empire that included around a dozen businesses, such as the Muhammad's Restaurant, Your Bakery, and the University of Islam, a private K-12 school. The growth and prosperity of these young leaders also captured the attention of hate groups. In one instance, the community's place of worship was attacked by gunmen. Thankfully, no one was harmed. In 1975, my parents relocated to Detroit, Michigan, and joined the Orthodox Islamic community of Elijah Muhammad's son, W.D. Muhammad. Thereafter, they took on Arabic names of Talib and Linah Karim. My parents eventually settled our family in a Detroit enclave called Highland Park, Michigan. To further his understanding of Islam, my father traveled to Saudi Arabia to study at the King Abdulaziz University. There, he studied with other Muslim American leaders such as Imam Siraj Wahhaj. Later, my father forged ties with Muslims from around the world, including Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. With the help of Gaddafi and other supporters, my parents built a new community in Highland Park. Similar to Oklahoma, the community operated several enterprises such as a real estate development company, the High-Tech Learning Center, and the Dawah Institute, a public charity. My father, supported by my mom, also entered politics and ran for the office of the mayor of Highland Park. The activism of my parents won them numerous awards, including honorary doctorate degrees. In 1985, Minister Louis Farrakhan invited my father to teach Orthodox Islam to members of the then newly relaunched Nation of Islam. By 1987, my parents adopted new names, Drs. Talib and Linah Karim Muhammad. In the same year, they made plans to relocate again, this time to Memphis, Tennessee, my father's birthplace. However, prior to the move, my mother died, leaving behind 9 children, including 6 young children ranging from 3 through 17. Once in Memphis, my father, inspired by the death of his wife of 20 years, built another Muslim community backed by an Oklahoma City-styled conglomerate. These businesses included the Islamic Center of Memphis, Muhammad's Restaurant, Muhammad's Child Development Center, and the Independent News newspaper. My father was later hired as a talk show host for WLOK AM radio. Using this platform, my father, now known as Dr. Muhammad, inspired a new generation of activists. In 1988, my father filed a federal class action lawsuit against the city of Memphis to end runoff elections for the offices of mayor, city court clerk, city judges, and at-large city council members. This practice had resulted in decades of voter dilution and blocked Memphis voters from electing African Americans to these positions. The lawsuit gained the support of President George H.W. Bush and his Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. In 1991, Federal Judge Jerome Turner issued a landmark decision declaring runoff elections in Memphis as unconstitutional. Later that year, Dr. Willie W. Harrington was elected as Memphis's first African-American mayor. Yet, Dr. Muhammad didn't stop there. He also filed lawsuits to end discrimination in the election of other local officials. These suits changed the political landscape of Memphis and Shelby County and led to African Americans becoming the majorities on the Shelby County Council, Memphis City School Board, and Memphis City Council. In 1995, voters elected Dr. Muhammad to an at-large seat on the Memphis City Council. This made my father the first Muslim American elected to any office in Memphis. My father served in this office until his death 2 years later in 1997. The documentary and book we are working to publish seek to preserve the legacies of both Drs. Talib and Linah Karim Muhammad. Share this story of love, devotion, and service with future generations by sponsoring the documentary or ordering an advanced copy of the book. For more details, click the link below. May the Almighty have mercy upon my parents, bless you for your support, and inspire us all to continue this wonderful legacy of working and winning together.